Yeah, I'm just trying to set everything up. I'm trying to get the cameras to work. Okay, so add source. It's just gonna be me and my friend Jank at the moment. So I won't be reading chat as much, but it's gonna be me and my friend Jank for the time being until my other friend Doc gets into the call, who's a really old school gamer. So I'm just gonna be adding a display a window capture for everyone's screen at the moment. Cam cam two. Select window. Just setting up your cam. So pretty much we're gonna be holding down the fort for a bit. We're gonna probably be talking about Nintendo at the moment. I'm gonna so let me introduce everyone to this is gonna be the This is the Moogle's Vault podcast. This is a bi-weekly podcast for all about gaming. I currently have two friends in on this for episode one, and one of them is here at the moment. The other one's is gonna be like maybe 5 to 10 more minutes. But we need to start because he said he's gonna be a little late because he's out shopping at the moment, so he's a bit mad. But hopefully everyone's going doing having a great day. Sorry for my stuttering. But this is Jenks. Jank, introduce yourself.
Thanks. I've played video games since I was about 5 years old, starting up on the Super Nintendo. I've enjoyed all kinds of video games. About 31 years old now, and I still find myself playing games, whether it's 5 or 6 days a week for a couple hours at the session. I've met Shields for video games. I fairly enjoyed his YouTube episodes on the Final Fantasies and the Pokemon Shiny runs. But I play all kinds of stuff as well. I'm not sure who plays more kinds of games. There's so many games out there; it's hard to play them all.
I gotta
But
ask you
thanks.
this, Jank. I gotta ask you this. Did you see the Nintendo Direct for the recent Nintendo Direct?
Was there one today or last week?
Well, 10 days ago, like 10 to 11 days ago.
I think I did see that one. Then, yes.
It was so bad.
I just remember Samus riding on a motorcycle.
That one was cool, but did you see the Virtual Boy console?
Oh yeah, yeah, 1987 all over again or something. You know,
Dude, like they're trying to milk whatever they can get left out of that.
bunch of people in the shop, and they're like, if we get to put a commercial up for him, we can finally move all the ones that we didn't sell 50 years ago.
Did you
Because
see did you see that they're making it out of plastic?
oh, I don't know. Wow, okay, Hmm, interesting.
They don't hate. I can't wait to find.
And you gotta like sit down on a table with it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be buying the new. Actually, if it's coming out, if the new Pokemon is coming out, just let you guys know, if the new Pokemon's coming out on Switch, I'm probably gonna buy it because I'm not gonna be buying a Switch 2 because it's too much money. What
I'm like,
what are your thoughts on like the expensive, like it being more expensive than a new PlayStation console, Jenks, like the new
um,
Switch 2?
okay, I fear mine might be controversial. Are you sure you're okay with this conversation?
I'm okay
'Cause
with it.
so I played Super Nintendo back in the day, and back then they were literally like $75 for a Super Nintendo game. So when it's inflation, that's $150 now, right? and the Super Nintendo was also multiple hundreds of dollars. I remember buying the PS3 with my like dishwashing money. It was like $700 on release as well. I thought that was a lot of money. I do agree that in concept, the Switch is a lot of money. The Switch 2 specifically is a lot of money, but I wouldn't say it's the first time that video games have been expensive. I feel like every like 10 years they get really expensive for a little bit, and then we don't feel it as much, and then 10 years later we feel the friction all of a sudden. It has been worse, but not by much. This is kind of the peak of it. But Xbox and PlayStation, was it like a year ago? They've also been releasing games for $100 or $90 as well. So it's not a brand new concept, but it is fairly new to most people, and it does kind of suck the friction. I will agree that when you feel friction, there's no way to feel good. But I do think that there's an interesting concept where you can buy a Switch One game from a pawn shop for $10, get the Switch Two upgrade for $10, and you literally have a Switch Two game for $20, and you save $80. So there's still a way to get around it. There's just a lot more work for the average person. So anybody with a lot of money and tiny brain, they'll just buy the game for $100, and all the smart people can actually use $20 to get each of these games. I think that's kind of cool exploitation that they're allowing us to go through. Um, the Xbox and PlayStation. I think it's PlayStation. They allowed the game upgrades from like Last of Us PS4 into the Last of Us PS5, and it was like $20 or $40. Where the Switch, I think it's only like $10 to $20 a game, so it's actually a pretty good discount as well. But it does suck the friction, the amount of money. Like you said, it's like $700 for a new console. What the? Might as well get yourself a PC. You know what I'm saying? And be able to play
Yeah,
even.
pretty much. It's like the console gaming used to be like a thing, like until like I think yeah, consoles came out first, pretty much for gaming. Then PC integrated into that because more developers wanted to come because more developers were seeing the potential of it. But like when
Mm,
you see a lot like console gaming, it was like it started out with the Atari, like those old the old gray box Nintendo and all these other games. Like it's
yeah.
surprising to see that 8-bit used to be so popular, but like nowadays it's like gone into like a whole like realm of how much gigabytes can we make into a whole new game type of idea. It's very
Hmm.
interesting to see because like before back in the day, like you saw this a lot with like old school games where they used to use those where those cartridges could only hold so much data. And then nowadays you just since everything's ran on a PC with a hard drive and everything, it's like how much can we pump into this game? And I think that's what increases the cost more for a lot of things is because like they're putting in more time on these things, which they don't need to, so to speak. But it's like, what can they do? Type of idea. It's like they're hiring labor for no reason.
Can I ask your opinion on how the old games there used to be no patches, or it would be like 6 months later they would release a 1.1 version of the game, and that'd be like just to have whatever the quality of life it needed to fix up. Where nowadays there are patches for games, but a lot of times there's DLC as well, and you're paying like almost twice the amount as much money for all the DLC for a game. Do you think these games could flourish if they didn't actually charge for the DLC, and this would just allow people to want to buy the game for its own? Like, do you think a new player would want to play a game they haven't got yet if the DLC intrigued them? Like, do you think the price of DLC makes sense, or do you think they should be free? Because a lot
I
of people
think
are
they
there's a
I think they should do the Silk Song route
okay,
because
20 bucks.
prices shouldn't be above 50 for a DLC in my opinion. Prices shouldn't be like 40, prices shouldn't be 30, it should be at least 20 or
Yeah,
even 5 because the prices like I can understand the DLC for Elden Ring being around 60 because that game is really hardcore and they actually put in the effort for that price. But
yeah, and it's
every
it's almost the same size as the game, right? It's pretty big, that new area. I've spent like 100 hours on that DLC. I get you. Shadow Virtue.
Yeah, and the problem is with like a lot of these DLCs nowadays, they don't bring out as much content as like say Elden Ring did. Elden Ring is the savior of like gaming in AAA, in my opinion. It is the definition of AAA gaming done right. But when you have like these AAA companies like Dragon's Dogma, not saying like the new Dragon's Dogma was bad, but putting everything behind putting like adding like a microtransaction currency to a single player game, it's petty to me. So it just made no sense why they would just put money be like put microtransaction currency like in Dragon's Dogma like they did, and not expect people to complain, especially for a single player game. It just ruins the aspect of it.
I got you. I bet you never played that game, oddly enough. Is it like Baldur's Gate?
It's like Baldur's Gate, but not the same style. Like it's actually you control the character hands on rather than point and click.
Gotcha.
Let me message my other friend to see how long he's gonna be.
Okay. I'm actually just gonna. I'm gonna also advertise this. There, like, I'll have a little thing going on. I should have. I have to put my cell phone sideways all of a sudden because I forgot my cell phone with that 1% battery, so I have to plug it in. So it's no longer able to sit the same way anymore. So my apologies on that.
Okay. It's just surprising to see like how everything's gone nowadays with like the prices because just a heads up, these aren't in the briefs at the moment. We're just talking off the top of our heads. The briefs are
What?
our main topics. This is just waiting until my other friend gets in until we get to fully start the show. So pretty much
Okay.
like one thing I'm thinking about is like what did you think of the what was it? Uh like what did you think
What?
of the new Zelda game coming out?
Dynasty Warriors like game?
Yeah, the
The
one that
Age of
was
Calamity?
like yeah, the one that felt looked like Dynasty Warriors. Like the one where you had those like fans coming out of nowhere where you're holding them and it's just blowing all these massive enemies away.
Watching that specific part, I thought that was a
I'm like
little funny.
this doesn't look like Zelda to me. It looks like one of those Fire Emblem knockoffs, like you know Fire Emblem? Like there's
It's a Yeah, right. So like one specific Zelda game, and when there's so many Zelda games out there, so it only appeals to fans of that game, and only if they also like Dynasty Warriors. So it's like a niche inside of a niche. I happen to really enjoy the one for the Switch, or not Switch, the Wii U or something. Hyrule Warriors. I forget what it's
yeah.
called, but I put a lot of time into it. Like maybe 200 hours. I like playing a Skull Kid. I thought that was a really cool character to play. Same with Midna with the Wolf Link. That was so sick. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, even though I have a feeling it's not going to have any of my favorite characters in it. Where that one had like all the Zeldas from all over and all the links from all over. This one, I got a bad feeling that this one specifically is just going to be like a one trick pony with its era. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Visually, like I like when they put a lot of like hundreds of characters on the screen in those kind of Dynasty Warriors like games, and it's very satisfying to watch 100 guys get knocked over. But walking around with that fan was very silly looking.
Dude, it was so funny. Let me show everyone what we're talking about. So let me look up the video. So there's a new Zelda game coming out. I forgot the specific name for it. Do you remember the specific name for it, Jank?
I don't think like Age of Calamity, but
Zelda new.
Calamity, something of Calamity. It takes place like it's like a prequel sequel to the two games. It takes place after Breath of the Wild before Tears of the King.
Oh, Warriors: Age of Imprisonment.
Age of Imprisonment. My apologies. Thank you. Hyrule
So
Warrior. That's what.
let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna switch this to highlight mode, and then so is it? I need to make sure this is capturing. So pretty much this is the new trailer for the Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Looks sick, right? Looks sick. Like it's amazingly done.
After
Miyazaki really knows how to
traveling
make a
back
game.
in time, Princess Zelda
It's
meets the
it's
first
Dark
king
Souls.
of Hyrule, Rauru, and the queen, Sonia. She joins them to take on demon water,
Like
wind,
this
in
is
any
funny.
situation.
It doesn't
Zonai
feel like a
devices
Zelda
can bring
game. It
water,
feels like a
wind,
Dynasty
and other
Warriors
effects to
game,
combat.
which I think might be their
Make
plan, but
strategic
still
use
it
of
doesn't
them
make
to
sense.
counter your enemies and alter the flow of battle.
This doesn't feel like
Pair
this
up with
actually
nearby
doesn't feel like
allies
a Zelda game
unleash
to me.
mighty sync strikes.
It's it's literally Dynasty
The other
Warriors
pair,
skin to
some
Zelda.
strikes can
Yeah.
do
But
a
you're
lot of
right.
damage.
There's nothing
Or
Zelda
have a
about the
variety of other
gameplay at all.
effects.
I happen to really like a
Invite a friend
Dynasty
to
game,
fight alongside
Warriors
you
3 or
in
4 for the
split-screen
Xbox.
co-op.
So I think that's where my niche is coming from.
And with Game
Otherwise,
Share,
you're right. Like
you
I
can play together on two
and like, you
separate
don't even play
systems,
like
even if
where's
only
Link
one
at?
player
Who are
has
these
the
people?
game.
Yeah, you've seen them for 10 seconds in the game. Remember that? You can play them for 10 hours.
Uncover ancient truths.
I
that
bet
were
the story is
only
gonna be really
glimpsed
good,
in The
though.
Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I hope so. If it fills in the blanks, it's got potential.
Hyrule Warriors:
I can finally
Age
see
of
your screen, so I got an
Imprisonment
idea.
launches on Nintendo Switch 2, November 6th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
So pretty much that's the new Zelda game coming out, and that's what we were talking about. It's gonna be interesting how they're gonna try and get their fan base to like it, like because like not I will say this, I'm not a big fan of Dynasty Warriors. I just hate the clutter. It's too much.
It's it, it, it would be a lot of clutter. I can understand that. Hundreds of just all over everywhere. I get you.
So it's surprising to see that they're actually doing something like this. It's surprising because like I feel like Zelda is one of those titles that you can't do a miss on, because like they've already milked Pokemon as much as they did, but Zelda, it's one of their like main titles. So it's, what do you think, Jank?
It's like they're branching. They're trying to branch it out, like Mario Tennis and Mario Strikers, and they're trying to see, does it work? Like, can we branch this out? Right? Like, I kind of want to check out the sales number and see if Hyrule Warriors originally did sell well. Like, are we missing out on this huge cult following? Like, there must be a reason why they're doing it again. But the original was not very good. It was only like 6 characters or 10 characters on the screen at a time. It was not like, I don't even know how they. I don't know why they're going this pathway. I don't know if the Dynasty Warrior guys are like paying them to do this, but no, I agree that everything I love about the Zelda game, the puzzles and like the combat, the dodging and stuff. It's not even in these games.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking as well, because it's actually not in, like when you look at like the combat style, it just feels like a very cluster like battle style, where it's like, how do I say, it feels like a beat 'em up.
Yeah, like it's less about like 1v1, and it's almost just like, never feels like a moment where you have to react to your opponent, unless if you're specifically trying to do that hook shot grab on Volpelgia's tail. No, but it's like a 1 second segment, and the rest is just smash the button as much as you want. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess.
I wonder how long Doc's
Like
gonna be. He said he's gonna be here.
4 squares. There must be another one. It was in square number one. Is he gonna live below you or me?
I think he might be to the right. It might turn into a triangle. Hopefully he can get here, because like he said he was gonna be 30 minutes. But like when you think about it, like though, like I can understand why they're branching out, because they're trying to think of ideas. But you think they would do soft testing, like make it downloadable content for like say Breath of the Wild, and make it like a $20 downloadable DLC. Like I think that would have been a smarter path, instead of making it like a full-fledged game to see how it works, because you're not putting as much time and resources into it like you would do a DLC.
Yeah. Hmm.
Well, what can else can we talk about before Doc gets here? Because he's really late now. I'm not sure what we can talk about because like all the main
I
topics is what really wanted to talk about today, but Doc isn't here yet.
I got a concept. The concept is maybe these Zelda games, Tears of the Kingdom, and the Hyrule Warriors segments, maybe they're not for Zelda fans. Maybe they're trying to draw in people from outside of the genre and like make them fans of Link, but not necessarily try to get them to play a game that they don't like. Maybe it's not for us, you know?
Maybe.
Like maybe it's for like a really just they're trying to pull for people. Like it's kind of a would be a weird, like super duper weird, like. But they've already made at least 25 games for the people. Like I understand if you're gonna make a game for somebody else, you know that's a long time to wait to do that. Go ahead, but because they are so different. Like there's almost nothing about them that would be like, oh, if you like this, you're gonna like this Zelda game. You can't cross reference any other Zelda game that would be like anything like it.
If you had to pick a
Um,
Zelda game, what would be your favorite though?
Somewhere between the Majora's Mask one from Nintendo 64 and the Twilight Princess for the GameCube. She had like a sweet little the mirror mode on the Wii version, and it had got a really good proper HD remake for the Wii U, I do believe. I played it on there too. I think Twilight
I
Princess.
really like Ocarina of Time.
Grand Time. Okay, that's my fifth play. I think I do like it a lot. I think there's a lot of Zelda games that are over like it's good, and I think it's slightly over hyped. However, it has affected the most people, right? So maybe it's not overhyped. It is correctly rated, right? It's just awesome. It's touched the hearts of many people. It's one of my first N64 games, so I got stuck in the very beginning.
It's
I got
surprising to see like did you see like a a Link to the Past and Wins what was that one with Toon Link again?
Wind Waker.
What was it? Because I remember Toon Link and then his main game, Wind's Awakening?
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. That game I love watching speedruns for. It is
Where
so
they
broken. It is such a broken game.
like they swim like 300 miles per hour backwards.
Yeah, and they use the boat and just landed on top of an island.
Yeah, the line of the Red Seas. The Red Seas is a line. I forget.
It's surprising to see how far like Zelda has come, especially nowadays. Because I remember the old Zelda, like the old 8-bit.
Okay, Zelda Legend of Zelda 1 for Nintendo Entertainment System. There was another one around that time before Zelda 2. It was like a M-DOS game or something for the Windows 95 or something. Where like it looked like the TV show Link, and you'd play around, and there was like little cinematics with voice acting in it.
Oh, speaking of that, what did you think of the idea, like the concept for the new Zelda movie, it being live action?
Is it real? Is it actually going to be in motion? I've heard this myth for like 10 years now. Every time it comes up
It
again.
was a real.
Um,
It was. I remember hearing it from Nintendo directly. I could be
yeah,
wrong
okay,
though.
well, that sounds pretty real to me. Okay, well, it's kind of exciting, I guess. Yeah.
I
Hey,
hope they
for
don't. I hope it doesn't turn out like the first Super Mario movie. Remember the
oh, the
Mario, Luigi
I've seen
Mario?
it. It's so bad. I never went out and watched it.
It was such
Someone
a
said they
bad
love people.
movie. When
I was
I thought of Nintendo, I didn't think of live action Mario looking not like Mario. And some guy that didn't look like Luigi. It looked like one of those Bollywood films.
Bollywood.
Bootleg Hollywood. That's what they call
Yeah, yeah.
Bollywood. It was
I was
so
thinking
bad.
Bollywood was Arabic music or something. My bad. She comes up with my YouTube recommendations.
Okay, my friend is on. He's just fixing his camera, then he's gonna be hopping in call. So hopefully we can start the show soon. This is just on off topic, off the main topic stuff that we're thinking of on the spot. So I do apologize for everyone.
Maybe. How long until I can't do inappropriate things anymore? All right.
So it's crazy to see that Nintendo, like I was really surprised about the Virtual Boy coming back, because I remember looking into like the Virtual Boy. It's like it was something that they didn't want like to talk about, because it was such a bad take. Like it was such a bad like invention back in the day. So it's surprising to see that they're trying to milk it now, because of the idea of like, oh, vintage is good. I think vintage is good, but only specific things.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
So I think he's ready. So let me. Where is the ad?
You got a fan blowing your hair? It looks nice.
I always have my fan blowing. Oh yeah, Tina's is in chat. Tina, a lot less heart and more greed with established franchises. Yeah, specific franchises nowadays, like it used to be all about passion. Like we're gonna get into this like during the main podcast. This is just waiting for my one friend. We're gonna be getting into it, like, but it feels like it's more greed nowadays, because everything just feels soulless. What do you think, Jank? Because a lot of these games, like especially from like AAA titles, same with Pokemon, like that's being brought up. It feels like it's just dying out because it's just being milked.
Mhm.
Like it's like beating a dead horse type of idea. Like is what they're doing, or milking a already dead cow type of
Yeah.
idea.
I think they're doing it by accident. It's or maybe, but like they were excited about this and they want to continue this idea, like Generation 10 Pokemon, and Generation 1 and 2, that's pretty cool. Generation 3, I thought that was awesome. And I got some people who like Generation 6, but like it's like these things they become so far from what they originally were later on. A lot of these things, and which they're milking the title, like the name of the thing, but they're almost no longer anything close to what they were on day one, or the original heart, the original soul is gone, and they're just trying their best to replicate this name and put out some sort of product. I think some of these are bangers. Some of these games these days rock a lot, like really good. Like I'm playing Silk Song right now. Expedition 33 was slapping. Um, but then you got some other games that might be like flop. Um,
Hey, gentlemen.
What is up, Doc?
all
Okay,
over.
we got everyone in here.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Hey, I apologize to both of you for being late. My wife went on a shopping spree. I'm officially dead broke. So, yeah. Yeah,
let
my
me
bad.
let me just crop and pad both of you guys into the.
Yeah. Do you mind if I use the green screen? Can you chroma key the video when you're done?
Yeah, I can chroma key you while on stream actually.
Excellent. So let me go ahead and pop up.
This is your real voice, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
hold on one
because
second. Do I have a voice mod on? Hold on. Alright. Can you hear me? Did it change? Because
It didn't change.
yeah. Oh, it didn't change. Yeah, that's my real voice. Sometimes I use a say what?
it looks good.
Oh, I started to say you're cutting out on me. Yeah. Yeah, that's my real voice.
Oh,
Like I'm a voice actor, so this is what I sound like. So it's good to see y'all. I mean, when I get excited, obviously my voice goes up too. So.
Okay, let's see here. Left.
Yeah.
guys got that 8K camera setup. Looks nice. Very nice. Very shiny. I'm using a
This
selfie
is
portrait on myself by accident. My bad.
this is the if you're talking about me, like I don't think Shio has his cam on. This is like the Elgato, like
Oh, I have my
Wave
cam on
3,
stream. I just
like,
can't put it in Discord because it's already on
yeah,
the
I
stream.
got it.
So let's
All right.
let's chroma key you
What-
in filters. So
Right.
Oh,
chroma key.
she's on her. Okay, cool. Right on, Shio.
Let me check this out too.
Oh, the site.
So cam.
Switch
I
to.
need to add cam 3 now. Window capture. Cam 3. Select window.
So did y'all have some topics you discussed earlier, or what's the deal here?
We just thought of stuff off the top of our heads.
Okay.
So the main
Doesn't seem-
topics haven't started yet.
Okay, good. I may or may not be knowledgeable about anything y'all are talking about, so I'll give you my old man take on anything you guys you want to know. I'm sure I'm probably by far the oldest part in the room.
From like 87, maybe 86. Trying to guess.
Sadly, try again. Shave a decade off of that, my good man.
Oh, frick. Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh, holy moly.
Yeah. I'm a Gen Xer, dude. Like, I am not even a millennial. So I mean, one of the rare ones, right? I mean, I
You
guess
played all the games then. You've been around for it all, the beginning.
I have been since the very beginning. My first video game. Let's see, what was my first one? The first one I remember is probably Atari 2600. But I also had a Commodore 64. Y'all remember the computer system? So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
like I
remember
was yeah, I was around for the progenitor of games. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a ride. I guess that's why Shio wanted to have me on is because
just
like,
because your
I-
age, because you're literally like the foundation of gaming type of idea.
yeah. Like I'm one of the old guys who remembers everything. Like before games were games. I remember when I was like 8 or 9 years old, the Nintendo Entertainment System when it came out, and obviously my parents like we couldn't afford one. We didn't have one. I grew up, like lower middle class, probably to lower class, and at times, and the first time I ever played a Nintendo Entertainment System was at the dentist office. Like when I went to the dentist, his name was Dr. Fred. That's what he called himself in our little town, and he had one for the kids to play to kind of calm them down, keep them from freaking out about all
That's
the
what my
horrible
dentist
dental
used
work.
to do.
You're kidding me? He had a game system?
Yeah, my dentist used to use the N64.
See, this is why we got to be recording, man. My bad. Like, because I didn't realize we had
Yeah.
the
Oh, Doc.
N64.
Oh,
Oh,
Doc.
my god.
Is it possible you can fix your voice changer because it's distorting a lot now?
Oh, I didn't think I had one on, dude. You said it was my normal voice. I thought you.
I
Hold
thought
on.
we were just joking.
You had a really low
Oh, yeah.
voice.
Oh, y'all were roasting me? No. I thought that. Check. Hold on. Check. Dude.
Did the update screw with your voice changer now? Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. So listen.
No way. That's what his voice sounds like. This is my night and day.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is what I really sound like. Okay. I thought you were kidding. And also my voice mod program, which I use on stream, wasn't on. So I don't know.
That's weird.
I mean, yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, it's not.
Well, let's
Let me
get into the
double-
main topics of the show. Let me bring up the topics now. So like Tinas has
Well-
said before, we're gonna be talking about like the whole idea of like
Oh.
old school versus new
Just a minute.
school. So
Right.
the
Are you
main-
recording?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. All right. Cool. Before you do that, like, go ahead and I think you should probably introduce because this is your first episode of your podcast, right?
Oh, we already did that.
Oh, you already did that? Okay, so I'm late to the show.
We were just
My
live.
bad.
We were just live, so you
My
were
bad.
just live the whole thing,
Okay, that's
talking about the whole thing.
come on, bro. You can't play me with the voice mod. That thing shouldn't have been on, dude. I asked y'all if the thing was on. You told me no, dude. I look
I've
so
never heard your
stupid.
voice before. I thought we were naturally
Dang.
really low.
No, dude. Did you hear like the dragon effects? Like, wasn't like it's like supposed to be like, what am I, Satan
I thought you were,
himself, dude?
I thought you
No,
were sick, like really low and you had cold or something.
dude.
And the room was really
Anyways.
reflective.
All right. Anyways, what's up, y'all? My
This
name
is
is Leaf,
Doc X.
aka Doc X. So appreciate y'all. Sorry. Hello.
Introduce yourself,
Cheers.
Doc, so,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about your channel.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So I am a freelance voice actor, podcaster, streamer on the Doc Demand Show. You can just look us up on YouTube. My podcast is separate from that. Be Kind, Let's Rewind. So you can look that up too. Just I mean Google search. You can find us on YouTube and other podcasting platforms. So yeah, that's me. Hello, how y'all doing?
And Jank, introduce yourself again.
Okay, I'm Thomas Ayers, or Jackson Skull Kid, or a new moniker, Damage.com, for when I was playing Pokemon Go the other day. I've been playing games since from '93, so Super Nintendo was my first console. Went over to the N64, went over to PlayStation 2, played that a lot. Went over to maybe got myself a PS3 when I was dishwashing, played a lot of that, and then just kind of played a lot of those, but just kind of recycled the old games. Got into ROM hacks of the same old games. Just kind of recycled them. Speed ran a couple of the Super Mario games. And I do enjoy some new games, but the price of new games is tough sometimes if it's not an indie Steam game or something. So I usually only get like one or two new games a year or something, if they're full price, uh, AAA
Yeah.
price, whatever you call that. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've been enjoying video games for a long time here, and
Okay,
we'll probably continue. So
let's get right into the podcast. The main topic today is then versus now. So pretty much we're going to be comparing genres over time, such as RPGs in the 90s versus RPGs in the 2020s. And one thing I can really think of back in the early 2000s was the old school Final Fantasy games, and the early 90s, which is Chrono Trigger era. Chrono Trigger was amazing, bro. Chrono Trigger was amazing. And then I can think of Paper Mario back in the early 2000s, same with Bomberman and F-1-0, if you guys know what F-1-0 is.
I do, yeah. Very familiar with all of those. As probably the eldest gamer on here, I could definitely I've seen, you know, a lot of I've seen all of the what you would consider like the what we used to call them like Japanese RPGs, right? Did they still
Yeah,
use that term now?
they they
Yeah,
they they use
JRPG.
that term for real-time combat nowadays.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. So it's like sort of okay. Back then it was turn-based. Like everything was turn-based. It was a lot of the systems were based off Dungeons and Dragons, which was even the progenitor to that, right? Like that Dungeons and Dragons sort of came before the you see a lot of those systems start becoming implemented in a lot of role-playing games. And I think in a lot of ways, and I'm not sure how people know this, a lot of the Japanese RPGs were sort of copying some of the old PC games that had some of those systems in it, right? Like the random generation numbers that you would use to delineate damage and things of that nature because eh, there was everything was a lot of things were text based, right?
Yeah,
Before,
everything was like text-based, like you would just write things down into code, and then it would be like a
yeah,
text-based type of idea, which was before Final Fantasy One type of idea.
it was, and so you even had like in the early days of the internet, you had BBSs, which were just like sort of peer to peer connections where everybody could log on and connect to a singular PC or a server, and they would host a game. I remember one of the games you can look it up is called Legend of the Red Dragon.
Legend,
Like, and do you remember this one? Is you know
I
have
heard
you ever
I
heard
heard
about
about
Legend?
it. I heard about it.
It was oh my god, dude.
What was
You're
it
gonna
like back in
cry.
the day? What was it like to actually?
Let me tell you, this was some of the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. And it was the very first online PvP experience that I've ever had. Right. And so it was text based originally. But as they upgraded it, they started adding like a little bit of photo like art, photorealism, some things, and it would just be you would have to type go left, go right, etc. Right to go places, and
Important. Yeah.
while you were logged off, you could be attacked. Like, you absolutely could be attacked, like, someone could find you because you had to log out in the inn, and when you were in the inn, you had to have a room, and when you were in a room, somebody could go into your room and try to fight you, and the game would calculate through random generation numbers, exactly, like, how much damage you did, like, your defensive stats, all that was sorta, like, automated for the very first time, and so when you logged back onto the server, it was like you were like, "Oh, I'm dead. Like, what the hell happened to me?" Right? And it was an amazing experience. Like, there was all the RPG elements that you see in modern gaming were already there. And again, most of these came from Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if you ever play. Your name's Jenks, right? I apologize. Is that
You got it.
correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I assume you've played Dungeons and Dragons, correct? Like,
I've made so many spreadsheets, but I've never actually played it. I've watched. I've
really?
listened.
It's a
Yeah,
lot of fun, Jenks. It's a lot of fun.
I
I
I
believe it looks like
actually
fun.
I don't blame you, and let me tell you the truth. I am just like you, or I was until probably, about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when I played my actual first game of Dungeons and Dragons. I've been in the community. I know people that played it. I attempted to play it. We never even really got into it. I've made character sheets just like you did. And let me
Yeah,
tell you, that's actually part of the fun is making the sheets, but I never really played
yeah.
like
It's
a
kind of like
full
your own
game.
lore. You're writing your own story. It's kind of cool. I enjoy writing stories, so it was fun doing that part.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're a numbers guy, but when you roll the dice like that, that delineates whether you hit, whether you miss, whether you hurt yourself in an attack, whatever the case may be. All of that began to be implemented in these RPGs, and you start to see that in Final Fantasy, right? But they sort of took out the dice in these games. You just swing, and it would tell you if you missed, or it would tell you if you hit, and it sort of it attempted in the early RPGs to eliminate some of the tediousness of what was in a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons games, right? Like, cause you could spend hours. Just I don't know
Yeah,
how long
some
it's
people
taking
might
you to
call it
make
quality of
characters.
life update. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like you
helping you
have
get from point A to B. But some people appreciate all that friction and all that. It's like putting a record or a vinyl on compared to MP3 or whatever.
You're
Like,
100% right, and that was actually one of the criticisms. A lot of my friends, I would play these games and I would enjoy them, and I would say, "Hey, you and I have talked about playing D&D for so long. What do you think about Final Fantasy?" And they would say, "Yeah, you lose something in the minutia." So you're 100% right that that it removed a lot of the tedium, but that is part of the Dungeons and Dragons experience. But these games were marketed to a different audience. They were marketed to a
yeah,
younger group of people, not that young, but younger, and
Yeah.
they attempted to be the arcade version of Dungeons& and Dragons, and I think that they vastly succeeded. Obviously, that's why they were so popular, and
it's easier to process or it's easier to eat it up. Like you don't have to do so much thinking, I think. So the younger player doesn't have to think so much to play Final Fantasy rather than the extra time, lots of extra time on D&D. It's pretty deep stuff.
a
It's pretty fun though.
absolutely.
But some people are not looking. Some people just want to play a game in 5 seconds, and
You're
that's where
100%
they leave
right.
it on D&D. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't wanna make their character because I know you've made characters before, right? So, you had to decide if you're gonna be a ranger or a warrior. Well, this video
An
game was
hour or
like,
an hour or two, or it takes a while to do
yeah,
those things.
yeah,
Longer
so
than a
Final Fantasy was
Skyrim character creation. Yeah.
right. Final Fantasy was like, here are your choices. Pick one, and then we'll add in more as the adventure
Yep. Yeah.
progresses, and we'll overlay the story on top of that.
It's just surprising nowadays because you talk about the excitement of old school gaming, but nowadays it's like the modern gaming era. Like it just feels like there's barely any sustenance there. Besides games like maybe Elden Ring, Hollow Knight, and Expedition 33. I don't really think of many other titles like nowadays, like new ones that can bring up the same hype as like these old school games used to bring.
I think I agree with you. I think as time has gone on, and like sort of I think it's coming back. I really do. If you look at the popularity of sort of the Dragon Quest games, which are sort of in the same vein as Final Fantasy, I don't want to derail the Final Fantasy conversation, but like at the same time as Final Fantasy was being released for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the original, there were other RPGs, some American made, some made by Japanese developers, and
Yeah,
they all
for
sort of
example,
hit on that same level.
there was Mystic Quest, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, that was used
Yeah.
as a way to tolerate for the American audiences to tolerate Final Fantasy. But then they learned that a lot of the people who actually liked Final Fantasy liked it for the actual game itself. They just made it too simplified.
You just blew
And
my mind. I completely forgot about that game, dude.
it was a terrible game in my opinion. I thought it was bad.
It wasn't as you hit the nail on the head in my opinion. It wasn't as good as say like the original Final Fantasy games, and you're right. There was sort of this like story generated mode that was just charming about these games, and like I said, the proof to me that a lot of these games are sort of making a comeback is that they're redoing them all. Like I don't know if you two have played the Final Fantasy Repixels, but on my stream, the Dr. Man show, Demand and I took turns like playing these games. Like I played the first, like all the odd ones, and he played the even. So I played one, he played two, I played three, he played four, I played five. We stopped at six because he played a little bit of it, but he didn't finish it. So we're gonna go back, and I'm gonna force him to do that because that's actually my personal favorite. Is Final Fantasy 6 in Japan. We called it when I was a kid Final Fantasy 3 because some of the ones in the middle weren't released in
Yeah.
America when I was a kid.
Yeah, then
So,
they
Yeah.
released it. Then they
dude,
released it later on. But even
they did it.
Mentioned one thing. Modern gaming is either overpriced or a slot machine, which is most games nowadays. It's literally gacha and gamba. It makes no sense why there's gamba in like a lot of like.
All right, so you're gonna have to explain to me what Gamba is. Like I understand what gotcha is, but what is Gamba? What does that term
It's
mean?
gambling, but like it's just gamba.
So gambling and obviously gotcha is to me
Just
it's like the same
yeah,
term,
it's
right?
literally it's just different terminology. It's the same
Oh,
thing. It's just
okay.
different terminology.
Good
Right.
praise.
And what's crazy is, and I want to get your opinion on this, Jenks, because I really, really enjoy the look of gotcha games. I know a lot of people don't agree. They don't like the cell shaded anime style. Dude, I'm immediately attracted when I see an anime game, I'm immediately attracted to it. Now the mechanics may be bad, but I think they look so fantastic, man.
The
What
nostalgic
do you
fact when we like our favorite. Was that one of your favorite eras of video games? The Super Nintendo or
oh
DS?
it
I'm like trying to
full
wonder
dis-
why 'cause it pulls me in too, to be honest. The state
it,
16 32-bit gotchas. I've only ever played like three of them. Like there's a Final Fantasy one that has all of them at once, but it just got shut down a little bit ago. But it went strong for like 7 years. But
yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
people don't like to play the same game for 7 years. Like,
Well,
for 2 years, 2 years is a long time to play a game for. You know what I'm saying? Whew.
yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And let me just say that I come from a generation where the box art and the actual video game look wildly different, right?
Yeah,
Like as I was growing up, like
anime
you
too
just
and stuff.
yeah, dude. Like the 8-bit was so disappointing versus the beautiful art
Can't even
that
imagine
was in the
the
instruction
post
booklet.
Oh
how
yeah, I
much
wanted to
jarring
get
that
your
could have
guys'
been.
opinion on this because we do need to move on the topic as well. So basically, what did you
Sorry,
guys think
yeah.
of like soundtracks back in the day? Like the whole idea of soundtracks where it used to be 8-bit, now it's like orchestra related, like for the good ones.
Every 10 games had a really good composer that took advantage of the sound chips and made things sound really good. It's not every game, but Donkey Kong Country 1, Aquatic Ambience, I guess, always gets me in a really good, like a zenning state, even though the sound chip is so old and it doesn't have all, like, it only has like 6 channels or something. Even the Game Boy Color game for Pokemon, there's like 4 channels, so the drums and the piano can go on at the same time, but the moment that the other piano plays, it cuts out on the other drums, so you can kind of hear. It's interesting that they have so much little to work with, and they made really good songs with it still, but it's not very often. But the ones that do really do a good job.
One song
Um,
I can think of just to bring it up for everyone on stream was let me bring up the song Donkey Kong Country OST.
Ooh.
OST.
which song?
Which one was it again? Like it was like the
The
mine
Aquatic
one
Audience.
and the theme.
Okay.
And the theme. This if you guys can hear it right now, this is back in the day old school. And it was really good. Let me turn it up.
The mining song and the anxiety building up, and you could hear the friction of the. Are you talking about the Jungle Japes song? Doom 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 doom
And
doom
that
doom
was
doom
pretty
doom
much like
doom.
what we would listen to on our Game Boys, is these songs. And it's surprising to see that like it can literally be made, like good music can be literally made out of nothing.
You're absolutely 100% right. And full disclosure, I was a Sega Genesis boy. I know, I know. You can
Okay.
The Nintendo guys can roast me. I fully admit now, Nintendo was Super Nintendo especially. It's the Sega Genesis's direct competitor was far superior. It was released
And the
after.
3D first, right? The 3D Sonic was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
that's what I was just about to say. If I don't know if she wants to pull it up or if you can maybe later in the video, but if you want to play some of the tunes from let's say Streets of Rage 2
Oh, let
and
me
some games like that. We
Streets
actually
of
covered that on the doc. Streets of Rage 2, the OST. Let me tell you, dude, it had some of the most amazing music, and it was more limited than the Super Nintendo. What you could do, and to what Shank said, to his point, if you were a genius, some of these guys were sound geniuses, right?
I
You
got
could
the
do
Streets of Rage 2 Go Straight on at the moment. This is actually
go
balling.
straight. Dude, this is Sega Genesis 16-bit, and what if you listen, it just it will blow your mind, dude. And so, fun fact about this, and we covered this on my podcast, Beacon Let's Rewind, right? We went into the nostalgia of this game. The composer of this music was a huge fan of The Prodigy. Now, I don't know if you guys remember
Two
The
songs later.
Prodigy. What's that?
The original Skrillex almost.
You're
Yeah, he had some
right,
bangers.
right, dude. In 1992 and the early 90s, when this game was released, this music was sort of underground, right? Like this wasn't something like well known, but you can hear the influences, and it just hits so freaking hard. This to me is one of the best soundtracks of all time. You can almost pick any of the tracks on this OST and hear it. And these people were so talented. What they could
Like
do with so
melodically
little, because you're right.
talented.
Yes, because Jenks is right. You had you had only a certain amount of channels you could use, but they found ways, and they were so good at it that people to this very day do 8-bit, 16-bit versions of modern songs because there's just something about that art, that noise that just still hits to this very day.
I think
There's
it's
Matt.
like within a lot of old people, it's nostalgia. Like it just brings you back to a kid. But like just to
I
move
think
on as
so.
well to the to the next subtopic about what we're gonna talk about now. What did you guys think of the whole idea of like those like what do you call it? Like those like you got the case and then that training manual in it. Like art manual. What do you guys
Oh, you're
think
talking
of?
about the arts in the manuals, like in the instruction manuals.
Yeah, the instruction manuals. What do you guys think of those being
Yeah.
outdated now? Because I miss those. I miss buying a game and getting the instruction manual. Because those were like
It was
good times.
driving back
I'm
and reading the booklet on the way back. I understand that I don't buy games enough at stores anymore. I mostly buy stuff online. So, but
Oh, they're
I
gone
do remember.
completely. They're gone completely.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's not there anymore. We can look up the artwork on the internet in like literally 2 seconds, but we're not the tangible artifact in our hands. It's like holding a vinyl record compared to like just listening to music on iTunes. Um, it's yeah, you're right. It was enjoyable and most of that's gone, but it's I do miss it, but if there's any way I can bring it back for a lot of only a couple of games like release those collectors where you get like hard things. They usually cost like much more for whatever reason, like more than they should.
We're
But
gonna take a 10-second ad break so everyone can grab a glass of water at the moment. We're gonna be taking a 2-minute ad break, hopefully. So in 5 seconds, an ad break will stop. Will start. Everyone, grab a glass of water. We'll be right back. I'll be right back as well.
I'm just gonna sip my coffee. I'm listening to the Streets of Rage OST, baby. Dude, this Streets of Rage 2, hands down the best OST, dude. It's so good. It is so good. 16-bit era, dude. I'm calling it right now.
I bet you never played that. There's a couple of them Streets of Rage. Are they like TMNT besides roller beat 'em ups?
They're exactly that. It's funny you should mention that. So that game was actually sort of based on the idea of Street Fighter 2. The Super Nintendo had obviously the Street Fighter 2. Sega Genesis didn't get the property until Championship Edition. I don't know if you remember that, but they didn't have the original Street Fighter 2. Yeah. Later on, Sega Genesis sort of acquired. Yeah, like they were exclusives back then, and so Sega Genesis didn't have anything like that, and they wanted a fighter, and so that's why if you ever go back and play Streets of Rage and you play Streets of Rage 4, it's much more updated, and you won't get sort of the nostalgia hit. But
is there a main character I might recognize? Like, are they as famous as Ryu almost, or?
Say that one more time. Let me turn this down.
Well, what would the main characters of Streets of Rage be? Like, do you think I'd recognize any of them?
So Streets, I don't think so. If you hadn't played the property, they're pretty unique to the property. So you have this blonde-headed guy who. No, they're not. They're sadly. I don't think they've actually been included in, to my knowledge, much of anything, even in Easter eggs and cameos. It's sort of actually, you bring up a good.
There's a
point.
bunch of them, right? I remember seeing like 1, 2, 3, or 4 like in advertisements and like daily bundles.
You have the main character looks very similar to Cody from who I know he is in Street Fighter. I think he's one of the more recent ones. He's sort of in chains. He's he looks like a prisoner. Yeah. So, and that was called Final Fight. Like he came from a game called Final Fight. Now, so the main character's called Axel, and he looks similar to Cody. He's got the blonde hair, sort of has like the sweater or whatever. The other character after him was Adam. He was a black guy, and like he was dressed obviously in leather, like he looked different. And then there's a female. Her name was Blaze, and she wears like a red miniskirt originally, right? And again, if you want the one you want to play is dude, Streets of Rage 4, which came out for Xbox Game Pass. I don't know if you have that. Highly recommend you get it if you want to play this game and other games, dude. Such a good freaking game, and it has a lot of the nostalgia of the original one, but it's obviously updated.
We're now back.
So we're back the whole time. Well, you didn't get none of that.
I had to.
Shit, man.
I got everyone's record. I got everyone's audio, but I just had to grab a drink of apple juice because my sugars were getting low. So
Sure, mommy.
So I wanted to get into like the topic of remakes and remasters because I can think of like the from best and worst modern remakes of vintage games. Like bad remakes, I heard the worst one at the moment of all time has to be Warcraft 3. The game was released with significant bugs, missing content, and a controversial approach to its lore and cutscenes, leading to a broad criticism and poor user reception. Is what I basically heard from a lot of these articles. And what makes a remake successful, like Paper Mario remake and Final Fantasy Collection, is what I find as a successful remake myself.
Right.
But like, what do you guys think of like all these old school titles like being remade? Do you think all of them should be remade, or do you think specific ones should be remade? Because I personally think specific ones.
I think that certain okay, so I can give you a case example for this. Right now, they are re-releasing all of the Dragon Quest. I mentioned this earlier, like in the podcast. They're remaking all of the Dragon Quests, right? In fact, I believe the end of October at some point in time, or
Where's
middle or
Great
towards the
Real?
end. Yeah, you know, right, right. So they're remaking Dragon
Yeah.
Quest 1 and 2. They already did 3, right? And I played it on stream on the Doc Dementia on our stream, and it was excellent. But to your point, they've actually sort of gone in and revamped some of the systems, right? And sort of brought them up to standard, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of the old school mechanics were just too hardcore for modern gamers. And I hate to say that because I don't want to be the old man sitting there and be like, in my day, like you guys wouldn't be able to like survive. Like and you probably wouldn't because a lot of our mechanics were bullshit. There were unnecessary things added to games to make them more difficult, and they've removed a lot of those and added in different experiences, story elements, voice acting that wasn't in the original. Obviously, they've brought the graphics up. To answer your question, I believe that if you're going to re-release a game, you should add in content that brings it up. And I realize this betrays like the old nostalgic experience. My argument to that is go play the old nostalgic experience. You can still go and find and have those games. Like in my opinion, like as an old man, I don't want, you Shio to have to play through the bullshit that I did because I didn't like it when I was 8 years old either. Like I hated it, right? Like you're not gonna have a good time because they were bullshit mechanics that need to be changed, updated for modern audiences. I think that that's the case, and you're gonna lose some of the nostalgia. That's fine. Maybe you weren't there. You're just simply. I'd rather them update the game and
Add
everyone
quality of
enjoy it
life and everything.
exactly. Then you never not playing the original and hating it.
But what did you
And even gets
you guys heard of
options like
Warcraft 3, right?
I new and old. I would still that's something for both way kind of people. But yeah.
But you guys did hear of the Warcraft 3 remake, right? It was such a really
I don't know Warcraft.
bad remake is what I
I
heard.
played Burning Up Crusade, so Warcraft 3. That's the over like
Yeah, real-time strategy like StarCraft.
Okay, yeah. For June
So
2000.
I played the original Warcraft 3, and I could tell you it was one of the greatest games ever made. In fact, if you're an enjoyer of League of Legends or other MOBAs, that's where that game came from.
Yeah.
This game came from
I
mods.
specifically remember like a lot of people saying that.
Yeah, League of Legends, Dota, these like Defense of the Ancient was literally a mod created for Warcraft 3 by, a bunch of genius modders. And so this game originally included all of this technology and this ability to change the game, to make your own game modes. And the original game itself, as you mentioned, Shia, was a very simplistic sort of strategy war game, right? You move your opponents, and you harvest materials, you move your minions against your opponents, you destroy their base, zug zug, you win, right? Like that's kind of like the idea, but it became so much more than that. I didn't play the remake. I don't know if it was any good. I heard it was horrendous, and I know why. If they didn't sort of try to recapture some of the old magic from the original, which is really difficult to do being that it was
let me bring
a
up some of the
groundbreaking game.
topics. Let me bring up some of the topics that were really bad about the game because I have them written down. Apparently, there were significant bugs in the game that made the game literally unplayable. Like you couldn't play it, literally play it. Like legitimately can't play it. Like it would literally break your screen. And then missing content that would later break the game, and leading to broad criticism and poor user reception for the game itself because it was literally a remake that was literally done terribly.
So we're not even talking like game mechanics here. We're talking about just poor developer acumen here, where
Yeah,
they just don't even finish the game. I mean, I want to get Jenks's opinion here, but right before, I just want to say do you guys remember when that became a thing? Do you remember the first game that was released broken? Because let me tell you, like when you paid for a hard copy of the game, like the thing was finished, whether it was good, bad, mediocre, whatever the case may be, the game was finished, and I can't hardly remember when that began and when we as gamers began to accept this nonsense because I don't remember the first game that I got that was just broken. I guess the internet did that, right? Like it gave devs excuse to say, well, "We'll patch it." Right? We'll fix it. We'll fix it later. You'll just download the patch and it'll be all done. I don't remember the first game that I ever played that was broken. Jenks?
I didn't know it was broken. At Final Fantasy One, originally there's like a magic spell called like Poison Knot, which is like an antidote. But none of the
Yeah.
enemies that poison you in the game. So getting the magic, there's no point to it. And then there's a stat doesn't actually work properly. It's broken. They patch it in later versions of the game. But at the time, I never knew it was broken. I didn't even know that these things didn't work. Like I didn't have somebody else who like played the game for hundreds of hours write it down in an internet article and tell me stuff. But
Figure it
I
out.
do think I don't. You know, if ET was broken, or did it just mean to be that bad and horrible? Because I hear bad things about ET for Nintendo, and I'm too scared to
I
touch it.
I actually owned ET. Yeah, and okay,
And
so
like,
all right.
it's like it's in like fresh,
All right.
fresh in the face.
You
Dang, what's that? What's that?
you bring up actually a really good point. All right, so get does it games weren't perfect back then, right? There were some glitches, some bugs, some wall hacks, some crazy things you could do in the games. So you're right. ET was a unique case. ET was sort of just a graphical marketing gambling bet gone wrong. They produced so many copies. Like there's a documentary. I'm not gonna rehash it because I'm gonna mess it up. Go watch it on YouTube. It's free. It
Sounds
is
fun. Yeah.
literally an ET documentary, and they will tell you everything that went wrong with that game because it is a hilarious and interesting story. But the long and short of it is, like, it just didn't work. The game worked, but it was not good. It was not good at all. Everything about it
Okay.
was terrible. Yeah, and they overproduced and ended up burying burying copies of it in the desert. In a hole. That actually happened. They took a hole and just dug it and like buried a bunch of copies of ET in there, dude. That's a real thing that happened. Yes. Yes. Go
So
watch I promise you, you won't regret it. Go watch the ET Atari video game.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, before we get into the next topic, I wanted to give off a viewer incentive engagement time. This is called Guess the Soundtrack. So guys, I want you to go on the stream as well. And then I'm gonna be playing 3 soundtracks as well. Each soundtrack has a name to it. I want to see if you guys can guess the name of it.
I don't have a headset, so it'll feedback horribly.
It's all good. I don't mind.
That's just if you have to mute, I'm probably gonna mute for this.
So guys,
Yeah,
just tell me when
you
you're
got it.
ready,
You got it.
and then I'll play soundtrack number 1. Media player, always. This is soundtrack number
Oh,
1. That was. Can you guys guess the soundtrack? This one's a hard one. so I don't doubt anyone to know it, but it's from my favorite game.
This is not a hard one at all. Unless if
Can you guys guess the soundtrack? This one's a hard one, so I don't.
or I don't know. It's Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to think if it's either 4 or 7. I think it's 7.
No?
Not Area 15. What do you think?
I'm gonna. Man, you I knew you were gonna do this, bro. This is why I didn't want to come on this podcast, dude. I knew you were gonna you were gonna do some hard shit. Like I couldn't guess, dude. And even I'm like the older, veteran, experienced gamer, and I'm gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna guess Final Fantasy 6, dude, aka Final Fantasy 3. What I knew it as, and I think I know where it is, but I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me the
Adam
bad
in
news.
chat was the correct one. It's Final Fantasy 9, A Song from Her Memory.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite game. I messed it up. Oh,
No,
it's my
dude.
favorite.
Okay.
I was just playing yesterday.
Full disclosure, after Final Fantasy 8, I stopped playing them. I never played Final Fantasy 9.
Oh, you gotta
I
play
used to
it
be that guy.
sometime. I'll get you the game, Doc. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I
The
never
only game
played 9,
references
dude.
the other game. It references a
why I
lot of the
didn't.
older ones.
Is that right? Well, that's the thing
Yeah.
is I wanted to say that before we move on, I want to throw shade on every Final Fantasy ever made since Final Fantasy 6, aka Final Fantasy 3. Like if you're as old as I am. So many ideas and mechanics that were built up through the ages were used on 7, 8, 9 going forward, and a lot of people view those as mechanics that are sort of like ideas and mechanics that were revolutionary. They're not, guys. They're not. Like play Final Fantasy 6 again, and you will see so many innovative ideas in RPGs. If it wasn't for the fact that I was a Sega Genesis boy, I would say that Final Fantasy 6 was the greatest RPG of all time because you get a lot of those moments and the musicianship from the OST and
Is that
everything
the one with Terra?
that precedes. Say again.
Is that the one with Terra? The green hair lady? Or who's the main character? Sorry. Protagonist.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one with the Magitech armor and yeah. So yeah, I may have misheard you, but dude, I can't say enough about it. Demand again on my video game stream. Demand has not my friend has not played it ever. Like it is my favorite of all time, and I know if you're a huge fan, the repixel versions of all these games are on Steam. They're super, excuse me, they're super cheap. You should definitely play Final Fantasy 6 if you haven't. It'll change your life. You will see so many ideas in this 8-bit version of this game that persisted into Final Fantasy 7 when it jumped to obviously PlayStation and the 3D. I was in college before when that game came out, just to tell you like how old I am, but I remember playing Final Fantasy 7, loving. I loved it. It was excellent. A lot of people consider that the best Final Fantasy, but dude, it copied and borrowed so much from 6, dude. Like it really did. They really I think
I
6
think
is a
people say
masterpiece.
it's the best Final Fantasy. I will say this. I think the reason why people say that is because it was a new generation, and most of the generation came from the PlayStation era.
I 100% agree with that because I think Final Fantasy 6 is the best because that was when I was a kid, that was my nostalgia like experience, right? Like and I also love, we won't talk about it, but Fantasy Star is an excellent competitor to Final Fantasy that, as a series that didn't get, its flowers in a lot of situations. Hopefully one day, God willing, cross my fingers, they'll bring it back. But the idea is, that this game is sort of revolutionary. And I think that if you played it again, with fresh eyes, I think you guys would be surprised. I really do. So I encourage you. That's my last plug for this stream. I'll let Shio take control again.
Okay.
Is that their Fantasy Star Online? Is that the same game or a different game?
It is the
That's
same universe. It's the same universe. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And so, yeah, and a lot of people know Fantasy Star from the online versions, which are excellent. They're excellent, by the way, but a lot of people don't realize that there are, probably the one I would suggest people play is Fantasy Star 4. Like it's sort of the culmination of all the other Fantasy Stars. Just like I told you, Streets of Rage 4 sort of brings everything like into the modern era. Final Fantasy 4 was the last one that was released that was sort of like Final Fantasy, right? So I suggest people to go back and play that one if you haven't. Excellent game. Hasn't got a remake yet. What are y'all doing? Sega, please, dude. Like the remakes are hot right now. They're redoing Dragon Quest. They did all the repixels of the old Final Fantasies. Seal Coden.
It's
I don't know
made
if y'all
on
remember
Dragon
those.
Quest. I think it's
Yes.
because the Cherry Toriyama passed away. I think that's why they're not making a new Dragon Quest right away. They're a little bit like, we don't want to mess up on the next one, so they're kind of
Dude, I don't know how you do it without
bringing the
him.
same
Like
route with the remake,
the
but I think it's a
the
little bit of that. What do you
impeccable,
think?
yeah, the impeccable art, dude. R.I.P.
I love it.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Curatorium.
Man, I'm gonna miss him.
the
He,
Chrono
he
Trigger
was
he
like
did it
he was a
for.
big icon.
Uh,
He was a big icon to
Mobile
a lot of
Team.
kids, especially kids who grew up with like video games itself, like JRPGs in general. So the next, this is the last
Dragon
song that I want to do. This is the
Ball.
last song I want to do. So everyone get ready.
I'm
So
ready.
Okay. Oh,
3, 2, 1, guess the song. I'm playing it right now, and it's loading up right now. This one's easy. So can you guys guess the name? This one's an easy one.
go first. Or I, it's I got. It won't be like the Song of Storm, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, Nintendo 64.
Yes.
That'd be my guy.
Doc didn't even have to say
Uh,
his answer.
I'm guitar. I
I
learned that song in
I
guitar, so I've already learned that.
I I knew it. Obviously, this has been a song that's been memed to death. Lots of people
Classic. So yeah,
perform
it's
it.
classic.
Yeah, yeah, it's classic. People have played it on their own instruments. I've seen violin versions, piano versions, like all different types of versions of
Version
this
like the
song.
past, but it's a little bit more 16-bitty. Where this actually you can actually hear like the orchestral parts, and then 64 was the first one to like introduce that. The song's been in a few games. It was hard for me to guess the right game.
Yeah, yeah. Song of Storms is it, dude. That is something that is incredible. Like it is ingrained in your brain. You won't be able to unhear it once you hear it. So yeah, 100%. I like that, Shio. Well done, dude. Like if you threw us a difficult one that no one was gonna get except for somebody in chat, some king or queen, whoever it is, whatever the case
I
may
messed
be.
it up. I was just playing that game yesterday. I messed it up. What the?
Oh man, I know that's gonna hurt you.
Yeah,
I
I
had no
feel
chance.
low.
As soon as I heard it, I knew it was Final Fantasy Chrono Trigger esque, but I was like,
Right?
I don't have it. I don't have it.
Now I want to get
So they
into
all have
I want to get
little
into a
romance the
subtopic.
power
I want
ballad song.
I want to get into a subtopic now. These are the 3 subtopics I have up. I'm gonna pick one of them. So, what do you guys think of the rise of handheld retro consoles like the Analog Pocket or Steam Deck and such? What do you guys think of those? Because I think they're amazing.
They think it's about time. It's been a hot minute, you know. I remember playing the PSP back in the day and the DS, but I've been playing Steam Deck a lot lately. I got Silk Song going on, but I got the old one. The one I got this one a week before the OLED released, and then it was like even 20. Like the OLED was like $40 cheaper than this one too. I was like, oh, what? I just waited a couple weeks, bro. The OLED even has like an impressive processing engine too compared to this one. This one's kind of, if I play a Switch game on it, kind of bogs down quite hard. I'd say that's the bottleneck.
Interesting.
PlayStation 3, Wii U, Switch.
Um,
What do you think?
my opinion
Yeah,
is that the Steam Deck and such is a tragedy, man. It's a tragedy because not enough people realize the power of these machines. I'm so glad you have one. I am a victim of it as well. I don't own one. Um, the idea of being able to play your Steam library on a handheld console is, I think it's so far ahead of its time. A lot of people haven't grasped the magnitude of how amazing it is. And it just goes to show you that gamers and us gamers are simply in a situation where like we're living sort of ahead of a lot of other people who are normies who are have their own job. They understand what the Switch is because it is a Nintendo console, but that there's these options out there that are just blowing away the competition in a lot of situations. Obviously, like you mentioned, it's not perfect. However, like there's so many great options for these handhelds that will just melt your brain. And I think it's a tragedy that there's not more attention drawn to these handhelds. I think they're amazing. Absolutely
Compared to the
amazing.
ROG Allies, like its immediate competitor,
Yeah.
um, I think it's good that they're trying again because for the longest time we didn't have any in the spotlight for like 9, 8 years. I think the 3DS was just people modding the 3DS and seeing how far that would take them. But
Yeah.
but it's kind of like when Twitch happened and then Mixer happened. They were healthy competition. One would improve, the other one would improve more. They would feed off each other. So when the Steam Deck happened and the ROG Ally happened, and I don't remember what the other one's called, it's like a Windows machine or something. Um, now they're all got something too. Like when one gets better, the other one's got to get better, and then they're all improving off each other, which is
Adam brings up a
really
good
good.
point in chat. People see it more like the DS or the PSP rather than a handheld laptop, is what a lot of people
Yeah,
think of it. If you look at it, he brings up a really good
and
point.
which would be a very expensive DS, very expensive PSP, rather than a normal laptop. I get you.
Yeah.
You can plug it into a monitor. Like I got mine plugged into a monitor, so I can play it as if it's a console. So that way, I'm not actually just using its screen all the time. And you can get a little bit more juice off that way too, kind of like when you're playing dock mode on a Switch or whatever.
Mhm.
But you're right, like paying $600 for a PSP or DS, it's a little cringe.
Yeah,
That's a little
it's
messed up.
crazy. And
Yeah.
there's also the next topic I want to bring up. It's another subtopic. Are modern AAA games losing soul compared to retro titles and indie gaming?
In free, or do you want to go first? This one?
Yeah. I mean, no, you go first because I got a lot to say, but yeah, please,
Okay.
after you.
If it's like a game that's already happened like 5 or 6 times, like it's just like its seventh sequel, it's on its like eighth release or something. I find it's really far away from its original thing. But some games that just come out of the blue and their original ideas, some of these original ideas are like diamonds in the rough. So it's hard to say. It's like every 100 games released, you'll find one really, really, really good one out there. You're going through your Game Pass, and every couple pages you find one game that really sparks your interest.
'Cause I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of the Final Fantasy VII remake. I do not like the new action combat. I think it's terrible. A lot of people like the
I
graphics. I can
Devil May
understand
Cry
that,
X, they're
but I don't like it.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it
I'm
besides
gonna
the
give
graphics.
the saltiest take you can possibly hear. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Um, I I don't mean to insult a lot of the hardworking people in the modern gaming industry. I don't. But I believe a lot of the people in charge in the AAA space are untalented. I think that they don't know what they're doing. I think that they don't belong in the video game space, and I believe that they are creatively and potentially morally totally bankrupt. And I will explain. The the problem with modern gaming that I think a lot of people, and I think everyone notices it, even people who aren't as old as me. It's just like there's a lack of creativity and heart in a lot of what people do, and I think the idea is to for a lot of modern gaming devs is to just reach back and pull from the more creative, the greater devs, like to rehash what they've done and try to like improve on that. And that in and of itself is not a bad thing. But when you mix that in there with unfinished games, when they try to like when people start to push political ideology of the modern day, you date yourself. It's a bad thing. No matter what side of a political belief or aisle you're on, it's bad because you date yourself because modern politics is constantly fleeting, right? And the idea that you push what it is that you believe into your own video game is a bad idea. It's bad because people don't care about that. They want to play something fun and
They just
interesting.
want
And
to
I have an
escape their
example.
life type of idea.
It's escapism.
Indulge in a
Games have
story.
always
Yeah.
Yes, yes, for kids, you don't want to come home. When I was a kid, like I didn't want to come home off the bus, throw my backpack down, and then find out what the current president was doing on my video game, right? Like that's not something that I cared about. What I cared about was like how engaging these characters were, what they were doing, how it pulled me away from my shitty school life, which I hated, by the way. Like I couldn't stand being in school a lot of the time. I wanted to be absorbed in these worlds. And when you can't escape the normal world, it becomes a big, big, big problem. And I believe when you are creatively bankrupt, you pull from things that are sort of a commonality that you experience on a day-to-day level. And if it's politics, you're in the wrong space, man, because creatively people don't want to hear about your ideas if you can't intermix them or interweave them with an interesting story. And too much of AAA games are focused on graphics. And my main example when it comes to RPGs and the topic we're talking about, Shio, is Expedition 33.
Yes.
That game pulled everyone out of their own reality. I full disclosure, I did not play the game. I watched my wife play
Okay.
the majority of it. Like I sat behind her, I
Pretty
watched
good.
her, I understand the plot. Yeah, yeah,
Good for you.
she's a dude, she's a big gamer. But I remember there was a couple of points in times like her and I both were like nearly brought to tears because we're like, dude, this is so like it just rips at your soul and your heart,
It's
and
an
it tells this
amazing
incredible
story.
story. It,
Glad you
it
watched the
tells something
cutscene.
exactly. And I'm gonna say it right now, and I'm glad you brought this up because I want to say this. This is one of the most important things that I believe. Everyone in chat, everyone watching this video, listen to me. Indie games are the future. I am a freelance voice actor. I voice act in all different kinds of mobile games, foreign, domestic, and all kinds of different things. I'm not gonna give the specifics because I'm not gonna let you cancel me for my beliefs. But the idea the idea is this. The idea is this that a lot of these companies have grown too big for their britches. They're too big. There are people in the space that do not belong there. And there's a reckoning coming in modern gaming. It is coming. It is happening. They have grown too big, too large, too fast. And all of these indie companies or double A experiences, and you have Expedition 33. You have what's Shia, what is the RPG? You Jenks, you may know it. It's like the D&D experience. What's it called? But it's
Baldur's
an
Gate.
RPG.
Baldur's Gate.
That's it. That's it. Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Larian Studios, like Baldur's Gate. And all these other Jenks, you're playing one of the games, Silk Song 2?
Oh, yeah. The Hollow Knight sequel.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. The game is $20, dude. It has more
$20.
content, and they're crushing these AAA devs because
40
the
hours
games have.
in, I still haven't got to the end yet. Like
Oh,
lots of people playing these. It's beautiful.
It's what I've been
it's
saying
not
all
even my.
along. It's what I've been saying all along. AAA titles are just like overdone. It's just they just don't hit anymore.
Their
Like
There's no
budgets are
passion.
too
people
big.
on the credits with you, Terry, where there's like 300 people on the credits for like a AAA title. Uh,
And then you
yeah,
have
what
something
do
like
they do?
Stardew
What do
Valley
they
where it's like
do?
2 people or even 1 person.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah,
they're
you
making
get
an
another
amazing game for
thing.
that. And we're at a point now where you cannot use graphical fidelity as an excuse for why your
Yeah.
game costs $80. You can't do it because there's games that are cheaper that are doing it better. Silk Song 2 is a beautiful freaking game. Expedition 33 is one of the best, most beautiful games I've ever
For
seen.
beautiful, yeah.
Cutscenes, yeah, voice acting, it's just amazing. And so you have people who are untalented that do not belong in this space. The overwhelming budgets are far too great in these AAA games, and they're not producing a quality product. A lot of it is bug filled, and I'm not going to even start with the most recent release of Borderlands 4, which I haven't played, but a lot of people are complaining about the same kind of thing. There's performance issues. This is just not an excuse any longer when you have people with smaller teams producing better content for less money. Like these companies cannot persist the way they are. Mark my words, and this is the last thing I'll say, indie games are the future.
And the one
I
thing I
said it.
wanted to bring up about the graphic problem, like people say graphics are the reason why we charge so much. I paid $15 for a movie ticket to go see a movie. You're saying I need to pay $80 to play a game? That's the same concept of watching a movie? It is so dumb. It is so dumb. Why do I need to pay
I agree.
80 when I can just go to the movies and just spend as much time?
Yeah. I mean, you're not getting the amount of hours, but let's be real. How many more hours are you getting on the video game? Like triple? Like triple the hours for like
Do you mind if I ask,
quadruple?
how much is it worth? Is it $1 per hour of gameplay? Like, what is worth, right?
It's a
I've been
good
asked this
point.
about the kind of gotcha game. They're like, you played it for 300 hours, and then you've earned the right to put some money in. But if you only play for two days, don't put money in the gotcha game. You're playing free right now. Maybe Silk Song might take me 50 hours. Maybe it's worth $50. But I'm glad it's only $20. I'm very glad about that, and
A
other
lot
games
of
as well.
people
Like,
are.
And I want to get into the
They're
next
good.
subtopic. What do you
Oh,
guys
sorry.
think of the impact of emulation and game preservation of game preservation through emulation? I want your
You want to
takes.
go? I'm sure we both got a lot to
Jenks.
say about it.
All you, Jenks. All you.
I feel like there's a good side and a bad side. Like, if I was a game developer, I would be like, what the? That's my stuff. What the? Because I got an uncle who worked for oh geez, it's a California place, Interplay. So they did like Battle Chess, they did Fallout Tactics, they did like Wolfenstein 3D, they did some Star Trek games. And then once he noticed that people were emulating and downloading the games, people even downloaded and emulated his games before he even like set it out and stuff. Like it was really awkward. He said. So I imagine from their perspective, it's probably tough. But as a gamer, the dude's not even a gamer, by the way. After he left the business, he never even went back to video games. He's just like a visual artist kind of thing. But I really appreciate emulation because most of my life I've been kind of poor and stuff, so I haven't been able to afford like every $100 brand new game when they come out. Right? It also takes a lot of time to play these games. Nobody can play every single one of them. Right? You got to be pretty picky and choosy, but I gotta be extra picky and choosy because at the moment I got a part time job, so can only get so much with a part time job. And most of my life, maybe like when I was like 12 years old or 14 years old, I didn't have a job at all. So I don't want to get one game that was Christmas, and then I got a part time job when I was like 17. Then I started like getting all these games all the time. But it depends how much money I'm making, and when I'm not making money, I really appreciate emulation so much. I wouldn't have been able to experience a lot of these games. However, most of the time you can't play online with emulation. You can't actually play with your buddies right when it comes out. You can only get that experience that's the first 2 weeks the game comes out, because then the excitement kind of dies for the game and your buddies aren't playing the game anymore. So you only get that experience once in a while where everybody is playing the same game. But a rare oddity, and the memories will stay forever though. Like, so many games I'm sure we all played with random people and it
True.
didn't last very long, but it's fun to look back on. How about you? What do you think about it?
No, you're 100% wrong. Like I agree with everything you said when it comes to games emulation for preservation. I don't know how familiar y'all are with the Stop Killing Games sort of initiative, but
I'm
that
very
touches
familiar. I'm
on
very familiar
your
with it. That's why I brought it up.
I'll great. I'll let you give some more context to this, but the reason this initiative exists is because games are dying and there's sort of for those of us who paid for the game, whether it's an online experience or what have you, like we're sort of being edged out of the property we paid for.
Such as Tom
And I don't
Clancy's.
yes, yes. I don't know how Jenks feels about it. Like I'm used to
Didn't play
buying
that
a
one.
game and yeah, I'm used to buying a
Haven't
game
got
and
servers
having it.
high yet.
I s- I still have the Battlefield my Battlefield, what is it? Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, like hard copy. Like right? Like I still have like the actual disc
Yeah.
and the
You
CD,
can't play with
and
anybody on it.
yeah, like I still have to go to a website, an emulation system, etc., to be able to have this experience. A lot of times, I mean, maybe not that specific game, but you get the point. It's just
Yeah,
the reason these emulation techniques and ideas exist is to keep this art and this beauty like alive when this soulless corporation decides that it's no longer equitable for them to continue running the game. That doesn't mean that my property should end, right? I own this game. I paid for it. It's mine. And so the idea of stop killing games is like, where does my right as a property owner like begin and end? And no matter what side you come down on, you basically the majority of people do agree that it's like, dude, I paid for this game. I should be able to play it into perpetuity. Like, right? And you're not
Yeah.
providing an
it,
option for me to do that, but you're going to shut me down if I start, my own server and my friends and I are all playing. Like, that's not right. And so, yeah, Shia, please explain to people who don't know
So the whole idea of
about the
stop
initiative.
killing games is to preserve games itself. So the problem that's going on within the European government, I believe it was, is that a
Yeah.
lot of these companies were killing off their servers, killing off a lot of these things that made these games accessible to people, including it was even stopping the idea of emulation, like people stopping emulation for old games that no longer resold.
Priscilla,
Like it's so stupid. Like
Exactly.
the idea of stop killing games was created to prevent the idea of corporation taking our property and just getting rid of it because they don't want to pay the equity for it, having something that they created back in the day that people still play. And it makes
Right.
no
And
sense to
and
me.
and they legally stop you from doing it. So they're like, we're not, this is what pisses me off. They're like, we're not going to pay for it, and we're going to use all of those resources that could be used to keep the game alive to legally stop you from continuing the game. It blows my mind. It's like, well, you don't want anybody to play it, but you also won't pay to fund the continuation of the game. It's like, well, what option do we have
That
at
you
that point in time?
and to bring it up as well, they can sue you if you make your own server for the game.
So stupid, dude.
That's
So
how bad it
stupid.
is. That's
It
why
makes no sense.
that's why there's a big push for stop killing games within the EU. I hope there's an initiative that comes here to Canada and the US as well, because it's a really big problem. Because you have games like Call of Duty 3 being like taken off now, and you have games like Tom Clancy. If you guys remember the Tom Clancy series, you can no longer play those.
Mhm.
the Division,
Is
that what got one?
the originals. Rainbow Six Siege you can still play, but not the originals. And the
Okay.
problem is if you make a server for these games to play with your friends, because you can independently code for a server for this game, they can still sue you to take it down, which they will do 99.99% of the time.
Yeah. Ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
So going on to the next, what was it again? There was something I wanted to bring up. What was it? There was one last thing. Oh yeah, talking about the idea of the lawsuit. This is the last subject. This is the surprise topic that I was telling you about, Doc and Jenks. This is the
All
surprise
right.
topic. What do you guys think of the new Nintendo patent? I can explain it to people who don't know. But the new Nintendo patent is literally what I'm talking about at the moment is the new Nintendo patent literally patents the idea in the US, only the US at the moment, that Nintendo owns the legal rights to summoning monsters or any type of being to fight for you. Not out of a ball, just summoning in general. So say you do witchcraft and you conjure a skeleton, they can sue World of Warcraft now for breaching that patent. They can sue Nikki for summoning girls to fight for you. And it's so stupid. I want to get your guys' take on it. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the person who gave them that patent should be fired?
Jakes, you're up, baby. You're up, baby. You go ahead.
It's hard for me to think it to believe it's real. I have read an article about it, but I remember like being like, is this like what is this? Is this a nothing? Is this a nothing burger? Is this real? I want to see someone get sued and see how they go about it and see if they win or lose because I don't. That sounds ridiculous, right? I don't know. That's my
It's
opinion. Anyway. It's not much of an opinion, but
no,
that's all it is.
I 100% agree with Jenks. Like this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, dude. Like and I was the same way. I was like, this can't be real, dude. This can't be real, dude. Like you got to be out of your mind that you're suing for mechanics. But you know what? If you look back, it's been coming for a long time. Who did the Shadows of Mordor? Like who was responsible for the Nemesis system? Like the patent of the Nemesis. Like do you remember that?
I
Who did
don't
Shadows
remember
of
that.
I
Mordor?
played the game. I don't remember who had it, but cool game, cool system.
Yeah. The Shadows of Mordor has a system that they consider the Nemesis system is what they called it. Like whoever dev the game, they patented this idea, this concept that NPCs, right? When you encounter an NPC in a game, they sort of remember your interactions. They remember who you are and they remember what you did. If you were evil to them, if you killed their subordinates or whatever the case it may be, they remembered who you were and it was like I need to know who made this freaking game, dude. Oh, Monolith Productions, Warner Brothers Interactive. I'm sure it's Warner Brothers that patented it. You cannot use this system in your games right now. If Shio, Jenks, and I got together and made a video game, and we're like, dude, the NPCs are going to remember how you treated them and respond. We would get sued into oblivion
And it's a U.S.
by
patent.
Warner Brothers. Yes, it is. It is a U.S. patent, and you cannot use this system in particular. We would get sued into oblivion. And so, for me to sit here and tell you that I did not see this coming would be an absolute lie, because this company has ensured, and I encourage you all to look it up, had they on YouTube, like or wherever you do your research, they've ensured that you cannot use this system. And guess what? How long ago was Shadows of Mordor released? Right, September 30th, 2014. To this day, there's not been a game made that has this system in it because it's patented. You can't, and that's the reason why. And they've sat on it. They've done nothing to it. And this is where the devil is in the details that Jenks mentioned. It's hard to believe that companies would be this wicked and this evil, but Nintendo is following suit. They're simply doing exactly what Warner Brothers and some of these other companies are doing. When you have a game like Power World, which innovates wildly and drastically on the idea of Pokemon, and you can't compete, Jenks, what do you do? You're like, well, our company is full of idiots. So what do? Well, you use the legal system. You crush the competition. Of course you would, because you're a business.
Trying to find
You
the
don't have
smartest lawyer you can pay for. Yeah,
I'll be
That's
honest with you.
exactly
right.
This was the only way Pokemon could legally win against Pal World here in the U.S. They didn't win in Japanese law either, but it could have went either way. That's the problem. But here in the
right.
U.S. and Canada, they needed something like a patent to be able to successfully sue them, which is why I think they did this.
Yeah, I
But it's
100% agree
catching
with you.
really late coming in. It just happened to take an extra year. I get you. Okay.
Yeah. So what? So what now? Like now, there can be no games with any summoning system. This just further proves my point that these AAA devs are creatively bankrupt. Instead of being able to compete with Power World, Nintendo's just trying to crush them using the legal system. It shows that they're out of ideas. They literally can't compete. So what you do is you use legality to destroy your competition, and it's disgusting. And it just goes to show that this cannot persist. But there's good news. This probably means this is yet another step in the destruction of AAA games. I'm sorry to say it. a lot of all of your viewers, Shio, a lot of your properties are going to die for the moment. They just are because they're Nintendo, Warner Brothers Interactive, and trust me, this is not the only one, guys. This is not a microcosm. This will spread throughout the industry because if Nintendo is 100% successful, everyone is going to start like figuring out the mechanics that they can copyright to crush their competition. Do you not think that Call of Duty would do that to Battlefield 6? Like Battlefield 6 is coming out in October the 11th, I think. It is Herald is probably one of the greatest, best online shooters of all time because it's sort of a return to form. Full disclosure, I'm a huge Battlefield fan. Call of Duty, do you not think if Call of Duty could have crushed them legally before they released the game, they wouldn't have? Of course they would have. They don't want the competition. Their game comes out almost exactly 1 month later. Call of Duty, Black Ops 7, or whatever the case may be,
Call of Duty has
whatever
always
it's
been
called.
bad. I'll just say this: Call of
Yes.
Duty has always been bad.
You just pissed off a ton of people, dude. But you know what? I agree with you, even though I'm a Battlefield fanboy. But it's regardless of the fact.
You have to leave
Do
the
you not
podcast earlier. I'm sorry about that. I
And-
gotta leave the podcast early. I guess my daughter just got back home here.
Okay.
And the girls
Oh, yes,
Good.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure
Pleasure to meet
meeting
you,
you.
Jenks. Pleasure, dude.
Pleasure coming on, Jenks.
Until
Thank you
next
so
time.
much.
Till next,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I'll watch the rest of what I miss here later on.
We're gonna be ending soon
Yes, sir.
either way.
My apologies here on the.
It's all good. It's all
Until
good.
next time.
Good conversation, sir.
The final point of my rant is this is another death knell in AAA gaming, Shio. I mentioned it before. Indie games are the future. I believe that with all my heart and soul. There is going to be a reckoning in the video game industry. Mark my words. They are too expensive, too unfinished, too talentless to continue like they are. You can't spend $300 million to make the next Star Wars game or whatever the case may be and fail. You just simply that is not a business model that is tenable. Like you can't get increasing profits from the video game industry in the AAA genre. You're going to see more and more and more people in the indie game dev space rise up from the top. I am in that space as a voice actor. Unfortunately, when I was in college, I always wanted to be involved like in the creation of games.
Yeah.
I wasn't smart enough or talented enough, so I used my mouth and my voice to get into the industry. And I can tell you, everything that I've seen has proven and shown that indie games are the future. There's a reckoning coming, guys. These companies are going to die. I am sorry. Bethesda, Obsidian, all of these game companies that are making this garbage content that isn't selling. And I'm sorry, Nintendo is in extreme danger for the first time because they've always been innovative. They've always been sort of ahead of the curve. They have their properties, but the things they're doing now,
They're
I
way behind. They're
can't
way
believe
behind
it's
now.
happening, Shio.
I
Yeah,
can't
like
believe it.
explain.
Like they created Super Mario. Like how is this like how is the creators of Super Mario like suing people into oblivion? Like it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. They've always had an original space. They've always had their place in gaming. They've never attacked anyone that wasn't directly in their line of sight. Like, why are you attacking like Power World? Well, the truth is, it's the first competition that Nintendo has ever really experienced. The
Well,
first
the first competition
real, tangible.
technically the first real competition against their rights, like their IP holdings, was PokeMMO.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know about that. To me, like Power World, I thought was one of the first ones that was directly in their line of sight. So
This was like 12
I
years
didn't
ago,
know.
but PokeMMO, the only reason why they couldn't successfully sue them was because they didn't give out the ROMs. They only had their code. The ROMs they have legal rights to, like the graphics, but they don't have access to the PokeMMO code, which uses the ROMs, which is why they were unsuccessful with suing them,
Oh,
because the code itself is separate.
oh, I see.
If
I
you ever
see. I
get the
see. I
chance,
see.
look up PokeMMO. It's a really amazing. It's a really
Pokey
amazing.
MMO.
Yeah, it's a really amazing fan game. Like it's literally has its own servers, has its own everything, and a lot of people play it. It's Pokemon but MMORPG.
Never heard of it, dude. That's amazing. Well, good on them because what I think you're going to see going forward is a lot of games like that. And let me tell you, don't be black pilled. Don't be disheartened by the death of a lot of your favorite RPGs or your favorite gaming companies. These people, the originators of these companies are long gone. They've been
Yeah,
morally bankrupt for a very long time and things are changing. Gamers, developers of games are very creative guys. Like, and the more I the space is like this, Shia. I'll bring it to you like this. The gaming space is like the creative gaming space is like sand. The harder you try to crush it and grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. And what you're going to see is more creative games, not less. You're going to see more people try to figure out ways around this lawsuit. Because until now, you and I have been sort of talking about the negativity of all of these lawsuits, and people obviously think to themselves, well, what are we gonna do? Like, there'll be no gaming. It's not true. What you're gonna find is a lot of people being more innovative, more creative, brand new ideas coming from this. Mark my words. Not only is indie gaming dev going to be the future, you're going to get better experiences, greater experiences, things you've never played before from this. And you're going to watch these big companies die before
yeah,
your very eyes, and they need to. That is part of reality and part of the general capitalistic model. Like new creative good things come up and the old and the outdated and those that refuse to change die. And that's been something that's been happening since the beginning of time. Fret not, your favorite RPGs and your favorite gaming IPs may die, but they will be reborn. Trust me, in a new and better space. The old man, trust me, trust Doc. You will have all of the games that you love again, and they'll just be in a different form, and that'll
yeah.
be okay. Because when it happens, I don't think you're gonna care. I think you're gonna like what's coming next.
And that's all we had for this for the podcast today. But before we end, I wanted to show off 6 new games that I think are really cool that are upcoming. A couple of them are life sims, like simulators like Stardew Valley. Now let me get into the video. Let me switch scenes and get into my little list that I have. So
Please do.
playlists. These are some really exciting titles. Doc. Why did I say demand? Sorry, I'm just nervous.
Nervous, dude. You've been doing this a while, bro. What are you talking about, dude?
I'm always nervous speaking. But let's get into the highlight screen. So guys, these are 6 upcoming titles I wanted to show you before we end. Number 1 is Everwind. It looks a lot like what let me grab the first comment of this thing.
I'm actually so sad about Hightail, bro. Like that.
I knew it.
I thought that game was going to be so good. But if this is along the same vein, I'm with it.
And now game number 2 is called Project Bloomwalker. The reason why I picked this game was because it gave me that Hayao Miyazaki feel, like Studio Ghibli, and it looks like it's from Studio Ghibli as well. This I believe is a life sim.
This is a Howl's Moving Castle, bro. And this is it, dude.
Rampant pollution has depleted the world's resources. And only your moving house and its mysterious power can cleanse the pollution. In this world, you will meet Kuroru, whose hot-tempered personality masks his secretly warm heart.
Oh my god.
And collect resources. Craft items for survival.
This looks amazing.
Trio,
Gather odd
do you
links.
like these survival
And
games?
decorate your
Yeah, I
settlement.
grew up playing Minecraft.
You'll face danger on every step of your journey, and riddles to test your wits. But in Boomwalker, your companions have your back. Kettle Kid, a fiery pot of purification, and the moving house that you travel the world with. Don't forget the oddlings that help you on your adventure.
Oddlings. That's
So
racist.
that's game 2. Now game 3 is one thing I'm excited for, which is from a developer called Chucklefish. And number 4 is, believe it or not, a Final Fantasy game that's coming out tomorrow. Now this is called Witchbrook. It's a life sim about living. It's like Kiki's Delivery Service. It's a life sim where it's like you control like a business and you're a witch. It's very cutesy-esque. How's that Stardew Valley feel to it?
Is this Hogwarts Stardew Valley edition?
Yeah, pretty much. Are you excited for Everwind, Doc?
So far, everyone looks like the most game that's up my alley, like so far. I think. Yeah, I was never a Minecraft player. My wife is into like these cutesy games sometimes, so maybe I'll play this with her.
I'm excited for this one because I like the style of games. This is the favorite part. Like, look at this. Look at this.
I knew it. It's Harry Potter, dude. I'm not big on the cozy live sim games, but this looks solid. This looks solid.
The next one is Final Fantasy Tactics, which is coming out tomorrow.
I'm gonna bust, dude.
You asked for this.
I'm excited for this one. I'm personally excited for this one the most.
Have you ever
This
played
is
it,
but a
Shio?
squall
Yes.
before the storm of battle.
One of my favorite
Prepare
games
yourselves at
of
once.
all time, Shio. I already told the man.
I even played
this
the
when I get back.
original. I played the GBA Final Fantasy Tactics as well. Advanced.
Dude, yes, I have both. I played both, man.
Leave that to me.
This game's amazing, dude.
It's why I've been doing a big Fire Emblem push lately, is because I'm getting ready for this one tomorrow.
Oh, dude,
It's coming out tomorrow.
this game is so fun, bro. This game is so fun. I'm living on vacation, Shio. Why do you do this?
It's literally
Come on,
coming
dude.
out tomorrow.
Oh, I can't play it. I gotta go with my wife. She'll be fine. She'll be fine if I cancel our cruise, right?
I'm planning on literally buying this game tomorrow. I'm playing it on
Gotta
stream.
play this game. This is one of the greatest games ever made. You know, this is technically not a Final Fantasy game. You know, they didn't They didn't get the rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the 30th. It's apparently the 30th. I thought it was the 25th. It's the 30th.
Oh, there's time.
And now this next game is called
I'll
Deep
be-
Dish Dungeon. It's actually really funny. When I saw this, I was like, this can't be real, but it's literally real. You're literally a dungeon delver making food out of monsters and everything and exploring. It's so
So
stupid
this is
that
a game for Chef Demand.
yeah. Look at this. It's literally you explore dungeons and crypts.
Yeah, y'all roast Shio in the chat for being wrong.
Fake news shield.
Yeah, show him no mercy.
Making food out of a rat.
Have you ever had rat, Shio? No? Well, don't talk until you've tried it. I love this. I love this art. This is my favorite game so far. Next to Final Fantasy Tactics.
And that is Deep Dish Dungeon. I'm not sure the release date yet, but you can wishlist it on Steam.
Deep dish. What do you make out of the skeletons?
Probably soup. And now this is the biggest. This is an unknown gem. This is actually called Dungeon Settlers. It's by a company called Can Opener, which has less than 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. This is a really big one. This one I'm really excited for because I like these type of control games. But look at this. Again, this is by a company called Can Opener, which has less than 600 subscribers on YouTube, or 613 to be exact. These are very new developers.
This looks solid, man. This looks like a demand game. He loves those option windows, dude. Wait a minute, is it multiplayer?
No, it's single player. You control each
So you can
character.
have a party or a group. Oh, okay. I gonna lie, this was kind of solid, dude.
I'm surprised because, like, go look them up. They're called Can Opener Dungeon Settlers. They have less than 1,000 subs, and they're making new content like this. This is their first game.
I'm telling you. What did I say, Shio? Indie game devs, bro. They are the future.
That's pretty much it for the whole show. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. This has been Shio, and this has been Doc. And hopefully in 2 weeks, I have my other friend on who I wanted to mainly do the podcast with. Hopefully he's available. But also Jenks was here, so thank you to Jenks. But Doc, please explain about your channel as well before we end.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a couple of channels my video game channel is the Dr. Man Show. We do comedy, gaming content. Currently we're playing Star Citizen. And we're beginning a Battlefield 6 community. And we're variety streamers. We play everything with a comedic edge. We try to make everybody like feel at home. We entertain as much as we can, make everybody laugh. So that is the Doc Demand Show or the Doc and Demand Show on social media. I'm sure Shio can include some of that in the video.
I'll plug it in the
Yeah.
description on YouTube.
And also, I am on a podcast called Beacon Let's Rewind, and it is a nostalgia podcast that delves into all kinds of movies, television, gaming, things of that nature. And the 90s, the early 2000s, and obviously beyond. And so if y'all want to join that, that is Be Kind, Let's Rewind. Both of my channels are on YouTube. My podcast is on Spotify and all other podcasting platforms. And that is it. I want to thank you, Shio, for having me on. I really appreciate it. Let's do this again, my brother. And maybe you can bring Demand on next time. My video game stream
I
is I do
asked
with
him, man,
another
but he
another
didn't
gentleman.
want on. I did ask him, man.
Oh, did he? Okay, he's probably busy. He's actually, I think he's on vacation right now, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe next time we can get him on. But dude, I appreciate you. This was so fun. Well done, dude. Well, let me tell you, like, I'll DM you later. Well done, brother. This was excellent. Well done. And I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. I know I did. I will hopefully see you guys later if Shio has me back on.
I'm definitely
And
going to
there's
have
not some
Doc
sort
back
of
on one day. I just want to say thank you to everyone. This has been the Moogle's Vault podcast. This is just remember, this is a bi-weekly podcast on the 1st and 2nd of every month. So next week is literally going to be episode 2, and then it's going to be bi-weekly. Episode 2, I'm going to have a good friend called the Venge Lord on, and another friend called Eternity, which his name is Tyler. So they're both going to be talking about MMORPGs. So we're going into
I'll be watching, dude.
and then we're definitely going to be talking in depth about MMORPGs, the upcoming MMORPGs, the whole idea of the advancement system in most MMORPGs. Same with how World of Warcraft is doing a quality of life update to their game. So hopefully I can see everyone again soon next week for the podcast, if everyone's available that day, or it might be, who knows, next week. No, actually it's not next week. It's bi-weekly, so 2nd and 4th of every month. Because this is the second week in every 4th week of every month. Sorry, I'm very confused at the moment. I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you so much, Doc. I'm glad to have you on. And now we're ending.
Until next time, my brother. Peace.